Thank you, Fitzy, and welcome back to centre court. Pretty much as we've come to expect, a full house. Andre Agassi, of course, is holding stage here at the moment, and he was superb in the opening set. While he wasn't against Hernan Gumy, the young man from Argentina who turned pro back in 1991, did not let him into the set at all.
No, Agassi was faultless in that first set. And I think the problem for Gumi is that he plays from too far back. You can see when you see a shot of centre court, there's a line of shadow, and sometimes he's been pushed way back into the shadow, and Agassi's playing from the baseline. So regardless of how Gumi does in the next set or two, I just think he'll have to cover too many miles as the day goes on.
And it's frustrating you because you want one of them at least to come in every now and again.
I would like Agassi to come in and just shorten some of these points, because Gumi's just an absolute roadrunner. There's Brad Gilbert in screen. Agassi's coach, and what a good relationship those two men have developed. He's built like, well, in Aussie rules, where would he play?
Well, he'd be a very handy gentleman on the ball or across half back. What about in rugby? Second rower?
Second rower, he's a lock forward, but he's a big man and he just likes to run.
Trees like baobab trees, legs like baobab trees.
He could, if Agassi would just come in every now and then, because Gumi's quite capable of scrambling 5, 6, 7 shots back, and then Agassi might just get a little impatient. If he just came in every now and then and shortened the points up. Mind you, what am I talking about? He's up 6-love. Who am I telling anything?
And did look very polished and very professional, almost clinical.
Just has an incredible ability, and a lot of the older players have told me that Lou Hode had it, just to take the ball on the rise all the time. Sandy, I've been vindicated. That's what I want to see.
No, he heard you.
The whole thing is that this guy, Agassi, is so good off the ground, and I just feel that sometimes he doesn't capitalise on his brilliant ground shots. I mean, majority of his rallying shots are almost approach shots for most people.
Both of these players have been on the comeback trail in the past couple of years. Gumi missed more than 3 months with the triple hernia operation. And of course, Agassi's return to form has been well documented, finishing 1997 in 122nd spot as far as world rankings are concerned. Last year, coming from 122 incredibly to number 6.
And isn't that good for tennis, that he's shown that type of commitment? And at the end of the day, when he retires, he'll be glad that he did.
14-15.
Well, he made a lightning start, taking the first set 6-love and levels at 1-all in the second. That will be a ripper tonight. Leighton Hewitt up against Cedric Pierline. A star who's done very, very well in Grand Slam events up against a young emerging Australian.
There's no easy matches, is there?
No.
Men's draw so solid. Well, the reason he tries that is Gumi, who was out of shot there, was probably 15 feet behind the baseline. He's got quite a
shadows.
He's got quite a good serve, Gumi, but from the moment he hits it, he starts retreating.
That's love.
And having watched Mark Philippoussis fire them down at 206 kilometres an hour last night, it's a bit of a shock to come back and see a first serve around 150 k's. Slower but effective.
Well, all his shots are fairly well produced. It's a nice classical service motion. Just tends to hit the ball with three-quarter kick. Gets a high percentage of first serves in, Gumi.
Here we go.
40-15.
Agassi actually volleys quite well. And like a lot of players, he's not the kind of guy that can serve and volley and create raft-like low volleys. That transitional volley is not great. But if he can come in, establish net position, he volleys very tidily. You can see Gumi, he's absolutely drenched in perspiration. He's already covered a few miles. Of course, the angles, the distances you have to travel to cut down the ball when you're way at the back of the court become far greater than Agassi, who's just patrolling the baseline, taking everything on the rise, a minimum of effort.
Gumi holds serve though and leads 2-1, second set. A wonderful second day unfolding here at Melbourne Park in the Australian Open for 1999. Our major sponsors, Ford and Heineken, certainly hope you're enjoying our coverage. It's a great day, and here is one of the great men of the sport, Andre Agassi, in his 35th Grand Slam event, which is very few compared to the man sitting next to me, Wally Mercer. Wally chalked up 48. Don't mean to make you feel old, mate, but...
Yeah, but I guess if you count the amount of matches played in those Grand Slams, he's probably got me by about 300.
Doesn't matter, you were there.
It's kind of like the Olympics, isn't it? It's all about participation.
Correct.
But Agassi, he looked sharp at the Colonial Classic at Kooyong, and he's continued in that vein, very crisp off the ground.
So purposeful on court, isn't he? Waste no time. There to do a job. Let's get it done and get off.
It's always hard to know how much a part Brad Gilbert played in this sort of renaissance. Agassi languishing in the 120s. And you get the feeling they have a pretty good connection, and maybe Gilbert over a few beers one night was able to say, listen mate, at the end of the day you are a tennis player regardless of how much money you have and how many titles you have. Let's give it one more shot.
And Wally, while we have these Adonis-like figures of Philippoussis and Rafter, without being harsh, I mean, you look at someone like, well, it's John Patrick McEnroe and also Andre Agassi. They don't look superbly fit, athletic human beings.
No, you're right. Agassi at times has drifted in and out of shape. It doesn't always seem to affect his play, but he's naturally quick, and the manner in which he plays, he can certainly dictate the play, so it's the other guy that invariably does the running. And he cuts down on his expenditure of energy, but you're right, he doesn't look that impressive. He's not physically impressive, but he certainly has all the ability. And I guess at the end of the day, tennis is a high-skill sport, and that's what counts. And he's got all the skill.
2-2, second set.
You get the feeling that so many of these Argentinian players are inspired by Vilas. They're all built like bulls. Gumi's just a brute, and Vilas
What's Guillermo?
So strong. Gumi just loves it, doesn't he? The more he can run, the more he can sweat, the more physical a game gets, the better he plays. He's just covering enormous amounts of territory. He's a long way behind the baseline. You can't see it in that shot. He's in the shadow. Bang.
I think also being an inexperienced Grand Slammer coming into this event and facing one of the all-time great players, it's got to be a little daunting and perhaps not overly surprising that score in the first set was as it was, but he does appear to have settled now, and that's good.
There's no question, Sandy. At one point he had a game point early on, or he saved a game point at love all or one love, and he clenched his fist.
Yeah.
Sure sign that he just was dying to get on the scoreboard.
And he's on again. He's got his nose in front of this second set.
3-2.
Centre court.
Yes, big challenge there for Stoltz, and a challenge here for Hernan Gumy of Argentina. He leads 3-2 in the second set, but it's Agassi serving at 15 all after Agassi took the first without dropping a game. Gumi playing in just his third Australian Open. Second round loser in '97. Made it to the third round the year before.
Well, you said it, Sandy, after what was probably a nervous start for Gumi. He's really starting to open his shoulders here now. Before, he was content to retrieve. Now you can see him getting on the front foot and starting to create a few angles of his own. Amazing what a little bit of confidence can do for you.
Yeah.
Quick shot there of Gilles Rains, Andre's strength trainer. Now just here is an indication Gumi with extreme western grip didn't like to dig that ball out from low.
Agassi holds serve and levels it at 3-all as we go out to court one. Well, I think on some of our show courts we need a full-time medical team, but at the moment that is not the case here on centre court, although we are seeing a clinical, disciplined performance from Andre Agassi, steaming towards the second round. Won the first set 6-love, the second 6-3, and leads 1-love. Game's going with service in this third set. Wally Masur is with me. Pat Cash has also taken time out from practice with Mark Philippoussis to join us upstairs. Welcome, Cashy.
Guys, how's it going?
Well, we're very well, but others are struggling, and one of those is Hernan Gumy, who's now staring down another break.
I guess he's just so deadly from the back of the court. I mean, Gumy's stuck a long, long way back and has to do all the running. How far Gumi will get back behind the back of the court here now. Look where Andre Agassi is.
Yeah.
Game Agassi.
Just goes backwards and forwards in a short area, Cashy, and hasn't raised a sweat.
Cashy, that wasn't you that put $5 grand on Philippoussis, was it? Shortened his odds. Are you that confident?
No, it wasn't me actually. You know what, me, Ollie, I don't gamble, but no, I think Mark's pretty confident. We're all pretty confident, but it's a lot of tennis to go.
Oh yeah, but you would have been pretty pleased after last night.
Oh, he did. He played well, very, very well indeed. Did everything right.
15 love.
Cashy, just quickly, he looks to be in that nice, that relaxed frame of mind. Doesn't seem to have too much worrying him at the moment. There's a bit of controversy going on, but when he gets on court, he's playing at a nice emotional state, the big flip.
Oh, he's very relaxed. You know, he's confident. He's at home. He's having a good time, enjoying himself, and you know, the bottom line is he's performing on the court at the moment and playing very well when the big points come up. And I think it's due to a good couple of weeks of tennis.
Cashy, I thought Agassi, he looked pretty sharp at Coombe at the Colonial, but today it's just been a bit of a joke. He's been taking the ball on the rise for 2 sets now, and he's barely mishit one.
Oh, he's just a champion, isn't he? He does that all the time. He's on the 3-love lead in the 3rd set, 2 sets to love.
Thank you, Craig. Well, they're getting a little restless here because this man in your screen is doing it very, very easily. A double break in the 3rd set to Andre Agassi, a 4-love lead. And he's just cruising. He's in overdrive, Wally, heading towards the 2nd round.
Yeah, I guess it's the trouble for Gumi, as Pat mentioned. He's playing from so far from the back of the court, and he's not really prepared to change a losing game. And as the match has gone on, he just doesn't have plan B. So Agassi, when he's in this mood, you've got to try to break up his rhythm. It's tough to do that from the back of the court.
15 love.
He's a very tough player on clay courts, Gumi. He can stay out there all day, and where he stands on the court, it's more like a clay courter.
30 love.
I think at last year's French Open, he went 5 sets with Alex Corretja, something like 11-9 or 9-7 in the 5th.
It was over about 2 days, wasn't it?
Yeah, anybody can do that. They got my seal of approval.
He's had a few scalps in Davis Cup too. Beat Carol Kuchera. So he's no slouch.
Well, Gumi just questioning this call. Of course, it is the electronic eye. Not that that's always right.
Yeah, I think certainly out of this backhand corner here, where I guess he just hit out that there. Makes a lot of mistakes there. 15.
Andre cruises towards victory. He leads 5-love in the 3rd set. Let's go back to court. Hernan Gumy serving to stay in the match here on centre court.
Love 13.
And now Andre Agassi just a couple of points from the match and advancing to the 2nd round.
Love 14. Game, set, match.
There it is. Agassi fans love it.
3 sets to love. 6 love.
A devastating
6 love,
win, though.
6 love.
He has wiped Hernan Gumy off centre court.
It's almost as though Gumi at the end there lost his heart for the fight. He'd been pushed around all over the court. Sometimes when you serve and volley, at least you lose on your own terms, but Gumi was just getting smashed about the baseline there. And at the end, really just conceding, but Andre Agassi, wow, what form he's in.
It's pretty deadly at the moment, isn't it? Gumi didn't really have anything to match Agassi with. But still, I mean, he's a very competent player, a tough player, very solid from the baseline, and Agassi just beat him, just killed him at his own game. Very, very impressive performance from Agassi.
Huge hugely popular, Andre Agassi. This is only his 4th Australian Open. He won in '95. He's in ominous form very early on. Still a long, long way to go. Another 6 matches if he's going to go all the way.
And looking at Agassi's draw, he's certainly got a few players that are not all that different than Gumi. So if he's in this form at the baseline, he's certainly going to give a lot of players a lot of trouble. And after about 3 or 4 rounds, Andre Agassi in a Grand Slam tournament looked pretty deadly. He really has a bit of trouble with the big attacking serve volleying players. But there's none in his section, so sure to see him perform again.
You might see him in the 2nd week.
Yep, good chance of that.
All right, well, let's hear from him now. Here he is having a chat with Craig Willis. Craig?
Andre, welcome back to Melbourne. Welcome back to centre court in a very impressive game.
Thank you. It's nice to be back. You know, this is such a great event, such a great tournament, and it's so much fun playing out there. It's hard not to play well.
Played very well at Kooyong. You enjoyed that?
Yeah, it's a great event for a good warm-up leading up to a field of, needless to say, some of the best players in the world. So to get a look at a few before the week starts is always good, and you know that helped me last year, and it certainly helped me this year.
You had a great year last year, didn't you? Picking up so many tournaments.
It was good in many ways. It was very good, very tiring, too, because I spent a lot of effort to come back, and I didn't have a lot left over for the big tournaments. And finally, I worked myself in a position, so now I can start trying to really peak for the big ones, and that's obviously the most important.
Ever the showman, the bow to the crowd, all around the court. It was terrific.
Well, I've been here for a few years now, and maybe making up for some lost time of not playing down here.
Well, it's great to see you back. Well done against Hernan Gumy today. Andre Agassi, thank you.